Housing price trend prediction for 2023. Hi everyone, my name is Casey from Home Quarters. This is Singapore property update for the market for January 2023. First up, let us cover some general news. 3 months compounded SORA crosses 3% for the first time since 2007, which will affect most floating home loan package here in Singapore pegged to it. Economists downgrade Singapore's 2023 growth forecast to 1.8% from 2.8% survey, while also raising inflation estimate to 5.2% and 4% for the headline and core inflation, respectively. However, all this is in line with increasing headwind forecasted for the US and Europe. Even though Asia's growth to slow in 2023, but region remain as a bright spot in the slowing world. Expect more interest rate hike from major global central bank in Q1 of 2023 to affect economic growth in Asia, but that should stabilize by the end of 2023. However, the current downturn in the tech cycle and tightening financial conditions are likely to have a greater impact on small open economy like Singapore. So it is a good thing that Singapore's residential real median income growth rises to 2.1% in 2022. Great news since it is real income growth, meaning it has already taken into account inflation level, but still not at the pace of the pre-pandemic level, coupled with the fact that property taxes for most homeowners to go up in 2023 as the annual value of most residential property is raised to reflect the rise in rental. The increase will take place over 2 years and have a greater impact on higher-end investment properties. Luckily for lower-income families, all 1 and 2 room HDB owners still need not pay property tax, and owner-occupied units enjoy concessionary rates. Owners of unoccupied property would thus be encouraged to rent them out to combat the increase in property tax, especially as condo HDB rent climbed in November as landlords market preview. Driven by strong demand from the expats and low supply of new housing, rents are expected to stay high, even with twice as many new private homes expected in 2023 compared to 2022. The double whammy of higher tax rate and higher annual value could hit rental property owners, but the expectation is for annual value to stabilize in 2023 once the supply crunch eases and rental increases slow down. Home Quarters thinks that upgrader families that we have often advised can continue to go ahead with their upgrading plan going ahead into 2023, as they are not affected by the increase in property tax this round. They are able to enjoy concessionary rate as they upgrade to another own stay unit, but financial needs to be calculated well to brace for the continued increase in mortgage interest rate that will probably continue to stay high in 2023. Alright, let's turn our focus to HDB. HDB prices of resale flat goes up for 29 straight months, a sign that the market has had time to contemplate the effect of the September cooling measures and is now ready to return. It still remains to be seen though if this is the start of a recovery. Fewer $1 million transactions were also seen in November, indicating that the sellers are now accepting more realistic asking price. Review of HDB town classification likely to come with policy changes. In a move to keep flat remaining affordable, the mature versus non-mature estate classification is shorthand for flat attractiveness, with units in the mature estates thought to have access to more readily available amenities and better developed transportation and other infrastructure. The classification is important as it affects the expectation, availability, pricing, and demand. However, the narrowing gap between mature and non-mature estate may not even warrant having the classification at all. Other issues under consideration include using common space for co-working purpose and more open floor plan for increased flexibility in the way homeowners use their space. Home Quarters thinks that price of HDB will remain stable moving forward if nothing big happened to cause it either to go up or down in price. The reason being that HDB is mainly for own stay and a roof over the head. People usually stay in their HDB for a longer term and is willing to pay even with the price increase. On the changes in town classification, we at Home Quarters are adopting a wait and see approach if this will change the market perception, thus leading to a price change. Alright, last but definitely not least, let's talk about the private residential market. Median rent for 3-bedroom condo in Orchard hit $15,000 in November. Report, with rising mortgage and interest rate as well as the threat of recession, landlords have been pushing the rent up. The lack of new launches completion and limited stock of large floor area home to house high net worth foreigners entering into Singapore have continued to drive rent up. In the longer term, rent are likely to remain high due to their sticky nature and the fact that interest rates are unlikely to play a significant factor. Condo resale price rises 28 straight months in November. The price gain were due to lack of new launches and low unsold inventory. Cooling measures at the end of September dented the number of HDB upgrader and condo owners have the attractive option of high rentals, both of which have kept volume low. Furthermore, unsold stock hit 15 years low, likely to support prices in 2023, with supply not expected to increase and demand remaining strong. High land and construction costs is also expected to drive price up in 2023. Economic uncertainty and the threat of a looming recession is also making the developer more cautious when it comes to investment in new projects. More land on offer for private home, office in early 2023 with a total of 7 sites. This put the total supply at about 65,000 private homes, including EC, in the pipeline. Home Quarters thinks that right now, for home owners here in Singapore, they are facing a dilemma of whether to sell or rent, at both looks like a great option with sales and rental price almost at an all-time high now. We at Home Quarters do not have a generalized answer for you, as everyone's needs and situation is different. Thus, for all this excitement in store for 2023, contact us at Home Quarters to evaluate if you should consider selling or renting out your unit today. So that's it for January 2023 Singapore Property Update. Happy New Year to all our audience out there. If you are keen to work together with Home Quarters to help you properly expose your unit for sale or to systematically purchase your dream home or profitable investment, text us at 8809-2889 or head over to homequarters.com.sg. My name is Casey from Home Quarters. Subscribe, follow and like us on YouTube, Instagram and Facebook at HomeQuartersSG. And remember, call Home Quarters and start packing.